Hola champions, Mr. Chambers here, and I'm here to talk about how to finish up our Animal Adaptations Project. At this point in time, you've selected your animal, you've written a rough draft, and Mr. Chambers has gone through and made some edits and revisions to your draft. There's a few more parts to our project, such as a visual aid, your final draft, and your presentation. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about those three things and how we can do our best to succeed in those things. Now, the first part of those is your visual aid. For your visual aid, what I'm asking for is I need some kind of visual representation of your animal. With this, there's 5 things that are included. Beyond the visual representation, which is a picture or drawing or diorama of your animal, I need a title. I need 3 facts about your animal, and I need who it is by. Okay, so the easiest way for us to do this is if you'd like to draw a picture with a title, 3 facts, a visual representation of my creature, and who it's by. This is the easiest way that most of us can do this. However, some of us want to be more creative. Maybe we already have a toy. No need to go out and buy one. You don't get extra points for spending more money on this project. And you'd like to make a diorama. You have an old shoebox and you want to make a whole scene for this animal. That's part of your visual representation for this project. Does it have a title, who it's by, and 3 facts about your animal? Pretty easy. Another way that we can do this, if I share my screen, is that we can create a Google slide. So creating a Google slide, and this will be made available on the activity. You can start by giving me a title, who it's by, and if you want to change the background like I have, you just simply click and where it says background. And if you need to choose an image, you can. I chose forest because that's where my animal lives. I did not pick a desert creature for this. I picked a red squirrel because nobody has red squirrels and they're my favorite animal. Okay. Then I add a slide and I have fact 1. I put in a picture of my squirrel, and my first fact, red squirrels bury their acorns under their trees and become very territorial. Now from this point, I need 2 more facts. So what I can do here is I can hit my plus sign for a new slide. I can put in my title, and this will be fact 2. And my second fact about my red squirrel is that they are the smallest breed of squirrels in North America. Now that I have my slide here, if I want to add a picture, I can click the insert image and I can search the web. I've already had my search with pictures of red squirrels, so maybe I want to choose this picture. And if I like it, I can hit the blue insert. And now I can drag my corners to make sure that it fits under my text. On this, if maybe I want to change my background to just a solid color, maybe yellow like that, I can do that. And that way I'm giving more visual representation. I do 1 more slide, make sure I have my 3rd fact in, and then I'm done. And then when I'm done, if I really want to, I can hit share, and I can hit share, make sure it's saved, and I can save it to, or share it to achambers@pideamail.com. So you can share it with Mr. Chambers. Or you can just hit the submit if you're doing the Google Slides available in the form. So your visual aid can be a comic, a drawing, a poster, a slideshow, a video, however you want to make your visual aid look like yours, as long as it has a title, who it's by, and 3 facts about your animal. That is what I'm looking for in this part of the project. After your visual aid, the next thing you'll need to do is to do your final draft. So, for your final draft, you've typed up your rough draft, you've submitted it to Mr. Chambers. I'm still working on revising some of those that came in through Class Dojo or came in a little late. But if you go back to your rough draft, you can click on it, and I should have returned it to you, and you'll see that there's a whole bunch of edits on your paper. For most of those, you can just hit the accept and you'll make the changes that Mr. Chambers has recommended. Some of you might notice that I've put questions. Is this your writing or did you copy and paste it? Or I might have questions of, can you tell me more about paragraph 1, the physical description? Answer the questions and try to make it more presentable. Some of us, we got a little fancy with all of our text and whatnot. Maybe we want to clean that up so it looks easier to read for the reader. Okay? And so your final draft should be 3 complete paragraphs. Paragraph 1 about the physical description of your animal. Paragraph 2 is about the lifestyle and diet of your animal. And paragraph 3 is how does your particular animal survive in the desert? Okay? So these are all things you can find in the rough draft category of this with a point-by-point of questions you can answer to help you with those. So you've done the final draft, you have a visual aid. The last thing you need to do is present. And for presentations, this can either be asynchronous or synchronous. Asynchronous is like the video you're watching right now. This is not live. This happened at a different time from when you are watching it. And there's ways for you to make an asynchronous video. Easiest way is you probably have a cell phone or your parents do, and you can just turn that to your camera mode, turn it to you, and present what you've learned about your animal. For those of us who don't have that capability, but still want to do it asynchronously, if you open up Zoom and start a meeting on your own, you can hit the record button like Mr. Chambers is doing right now. And I'm recording myself speak and giving this presentation via Zoom. Okay, and then once I'm all done, I can just save and share that video with Mr. Chambers. Now I know Google Classroom is not the easiest of sharing videos or photos, so if Class Dojo works easier for you for sharing that presentation, by all means, you can use that or send it directly to email at achambers@pideamail.com. Okay? Those are if you want to pre-record your presentation. Other scholars may feel like they need an audience, and I'm going to provide you an opportunity to present in front of an audience next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. After we're done with the NWA MAP test, scholars who would like to present in person during our normally scheduled CKLA time at 1 or 1:30 in the afternoon, if you would like to present, you can present here on Zoom during our class meeting, and we'll give you the 2 to 5 minutes that you need for your presentation. When you're presenting, you want to speak nice and loud. And I know we might have some technical errors, but we want to hear what you're saying. So make sure you're in a quiet environment as you're talking and explaining. If you're filming ahead of time, perhaps you can share with us via your screen or using your camera on your phone to show us your visual aid. Now, your presentation shouldn't be reading everything that you wrote down in your essay unless you really want to. But having a piece of paper in your face, all we see is the paper, and it makes it hard to hear what you're saying. So maybe practice and rehearse your presentation so that when you are presenting, you can speak a little more naturally like Mr. Chambers does without a script right in front of him, okay? I'll leave it to you as a scholar to decide whether you want to present in person during our Zoom meeting or if you want to film your video beforehand. That is your choice. Your presentation will be about 2 minutes to 5 minutes. You're talking about the physical description of your animal, the lifestyle and diet of your animal, and how your animal survives in the desert. Same things you talked about in your essay, you just want to try to memorize some of it or not read everything that you wrote down. You want to give us enough information so that we're interested in learning more about that animal that you study. There's one final piece to this, and that should be coming out hopefully today that you're seeing this. It will be a grading rubric, and I'll talk a little bit of this during our 1 o'clock or 1:30 meeting, in which we talk about how you are graded on all the parts of your assignment so that you can really do your best. And maybe your rough draft or your animal selection paragraph wasn't the best and you got some points to knock down. That is not that's not your final grade. You can still wow me with your presentation, with your final draft of your essay, and with your visual aid. Just remember to have the parts that I've mentioned here and that are on the rubric in place. And with that, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you have fun with this project, and I look forward to seeing our presentations by next Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Okay, next Friday is the absolute last date for doing any kind of presentations. And so I want to make sure that we're ready for this, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Mr. Chambers via Class Dojo, email, or catch me during office hours, and I'll gladly help you with anything that I can. With that being said, I hope you stay awesome, and I'll see you real soon.